Narendra Modi, India's Prime Minister, is a very patient man. He rarely reacts to biased and fake media narratives. But it doesn't mean that he's oblivious to what is going around him. He single-handedly raised India's oldest and most corrupt political party to the ground. He's currently the most famous political leader in India and arguably the most famous around the world as well. Despite two back-to-back big coronavirus waves, his popularity remains undented and his approval ratings are far from going south. So when a social media company riles up a leader of Narendra Modi's stature, things are bound to happen. 3 months back, India made it clear to all the social media giants operating in India to comply with the law of the land. But riding high on their newfound political success in the USA, social media companies decided to disregard his words. Additionally, Twitter went after the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson's tweet and labeled it as manipulated media. The response to it was swift and brutal. Modi government responded in a way that the company wasn't expecting even in its wildest dreams. Indian investigative agencies raided the hell out of them. Hi and welcome. This is TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. And I'm your host, Atul Mishra. In this video, I will tell you about how Twitter's constant poking of the Modi government has come back to haunt Twitter like bad karma. Let's begin. Panic struck Twitter Inc.'s global headquarters in the United States at the break of Monday's dawn. Top executives did not know what had just struck them. Soon, they realized that the Narendra Modi government of India has taken the first among many steps to take Twitter down. Twitter executives are said to have been angry, worried, paranoid, and above all, scared of what had just happened back in India. India's Capital Police, the Delhi Police, dispatched 2 teams of its special cell to pay a visit to the microblogging site's offices in New Delhi and Gurgaon. Mind you, the Delhi Police paid a visit to the Twitter offices in and around Delhi, knowing fully well that they were closed. And in fact, employees were working from their homes for the past 1 year. Yet, since the intent of the Indian government was to let Twitter know it is coming after it, the 2 teams carried notices with them to be served to Twitter. Meanwhile, the intended message has been received by top Twitter executives in the United States, lock, stock, and barrel. But you must be wondering why the Indian government has launched a sudden offensive against Twitter. Well, firstly, it's not all sudden. And second, Twitter has been getting on the Indian government's nerves for far too long. And the hammer has now come banging hard on it. The recent visit by Delhi police to Twitter offices comes in the backdrop of fresh tensions between the American social media giant and the Narendra Modi government in India. Recently, India's primary opposition party, the Indian National Congress, was caught red-handed trying to destabilize the Modi government by using a toolkit. In the toolkit, the Congress party intricately instructed its workers and volunteers to collaborate with international media and vested interest groups to defame the federal government in India. It also instructed workers to use images of burning pyres and cremation sites for showing an artificial image of the crisis in India. Essentially, the toolkit of the Congress party was anti-national in nature. So the Indian government mounted an offensive against it. However, what did Twitter do? At the behest of the Congress party, it labeled tweets exposing the toolkit as those which contain manipulated media. This is a brazen lie. However, India, being the most vibrant and diverse democracy in the world, decided to give Twitter a fair chance. So the Delhi police served notices to the platform and asked it to come clean with regards to the exclusive information it seems to be having, on the basis of which it labeled tweets exposing the toolkit as manipulated media. The Delhi police simply wanted in on the secret information on the basis of which Twitter had declared the toolkit to be manipulated. Obviously, Twitter did not comply and instead told the Delhi police to pursue the matter with the platform's global headquarters in the United States. So the Delhi police decided to pursue the matter with Twitter's headquarters in their own style, which forced top executives to be woken up from their sweet sleep at the crack of dawn on Monday. The Indian government's message to Twitter is clear. If you decide not to comply with the laws in India, we will not hesitate to take you down. Today, it might be the Twitter offices, but we will not shy away from coming knocking on the doors of your India executives' homes. The Narendra Modi government has realized that Twitter's commitment is to destabilize the present establishment and to target the tremendous conservative ecosystem of the country. India has made it clear that beginning Wednesday, all social media platforms, including Twitter, who have not complied with recently released social media guidelines will be liable to be prosecuted under criminal charges. Twitter is really surviving on the edge in India, and the Indian government's message to it is loud and clear: fall in line or get booted out. India has emerged as a global power, which is leading the fight against the hegemony of high-handedness of American big tech. While countries like Russia, Australia, France, and others around the world are also pushing back against big tech, India has effectively signaled that it will not shy away from criminally prosecuting the top executives of social media giants, especially those belonging to Twitter Inc. Trump must be a happy man today.